Monthly benchmarks are being shattered before we even have time to name them. Models are clearing thresholds experts once thought were decades away. We are watching entire professional workflows collapse into a single text box, turning complex disciplines into a sequence of prompts. To anyone watching these curves, it feels as though human capability itself is expanding at an exponential rate. But the graph people are reacting to is partially a mirage. The tools are significant and the acceleration is real, but our interpretation of that speed is flawed. We are looking at the sudden collapse of technical effort boundaries and mistaking it for a fundamental destabilization of reality. Historically, meaningful creation required years of technical gatekeeping. You had to master a specific vocabulary and spend thousands of hours practicing the physical operation of complex tools. Today, those same complex systems can be initiated through simple conversational English. This speed creates a terrifying instinctive reaction. If the interface between the idea and the result dissolved this quickly, what remains uniquely valuable about the person behind it? The underlying discomfort here is the psychological sensation of dissolution, the feeling that the walls protecting our sense of self are being washed away. We build our identities around the scarcity of our skills. When the effort required to produce a result flattens, the social hierarchies and personal boundaries we built around those hard-won techniques begin to lose their shape. This panic is driven by a misunderstanding. We are looking at a tool that can generate more content and assuming it is performing more meaningful execution. To understand what is happening, look at interface friction. This is the mechanical struggle of turning a thought into a tangible thing. Generative AI targets this friction. Tasks like syntax recall, menus, and boilerplate systems simply evaporate. Prototyping and scaffolding are now accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This frictionless speed creates the sensation that the human behind the interface has expanded, but the human hasn't changed. Accessing a faster way to generate artifacts is not the same thing as sustained authorship. This is where the mirage fades. While the interface layer accelerated, the underlying human constraints remained exactly where they were. We are running into the invisible wall. The primary thresholds of creation have always been taste, judgment, the tolerance for failure, and the ability to navigate ambiguity. These are the human-centric constraints software hasn't solved. Because anyone can generate artifacts endlessly, the bottlenecks simply move downstream. We used to ask, how do I technically produce this? Now we are forced to ask more difficult questions. What is actually worth producing? And what still matters once generation is everywhere? Frictionless generation is the new baseline. The true struggle is surviving the uncertainty that follows the initial prompt. In a world where high-quality code and visual artifacts are trivial to produce, creators can no longer signal their value through production capability alone. We are seeing a scramble for new layers of scarcity. People build identities around things AI cannot yet mimic: curation, consistency, authorship, and trust. This reveals a central irony. The ultimate ceiling of human capability never moved as much as we thought it did. The visible wall of technical execution collapsed, but the invisible wall of judgment remains intact. The difficult part of creation was never opening the software or typing the code. It was the courage to decide what deserved to exist, and the taste to maintain a coherent vision over time. This persistence of human limitation is why many of our conversations about AI feel so disconnected from our lived reality. The capability graphs imply infinite leverage and creative abundance, but our actual work is still bottlenecked by human motivation, mental clarity, and focused attention. Realizing that the fundamental thresholds of creation changed very little is disappointing, but it is also incredibly stabilizing. We are not entering a future where human capability disappears beneath a digital wave. Interfaces are accelerating, and it is easy to mistake this surge in speed for a change in what it means to be human. But deciding what truly matters remains a stable, deeply human burden.